All right. Look how y'all doing, man. Look, Mr. Green, man. You exile, man. You know what I mean? I come on, man. I wanted to really come back and kind of re-elaborate on something I was talking about on another video that I was talking about. It was titled "Gang Stalking." You know what I mean? I actually wanted to just come back and because I could have delivered the video a little bit better than that. You know what I mean? And I'm really just you know what I mean, trying on another little platform for myself, man, to be able to, get into a spiritual reference of where I'm going with it, you know what I mean? Even from the situation of you know, my experience from the situation of gang stalking, you know what I mean? I've actually learned something at a high caliber rate, a little quicker, you know what I mean? And then with with the different moons right now coming into Pisces, you know what I mean, at the speed it is, you know what I mean, it's Virgo season, you know what I mean, my birthday season. But anyways, you know what I mean, I feel like I could have came a little bit better than that, you know what I mean, because I feel like I was coming a little, you know what I mean, I didn't like the way my posture was in the video, and you know what I mean, I could have been delivering it more accurate, but from the same preface, because I'm gonna get back on it, you know what I mean, like even from that, like the situation of the gang stalking, you know what I mean, and different methods that I'm going about, you know what I mean, helping me with that situation, you know what I mean, and other than we doing a lot of studying like I'm always doing, you know what I mean, on different aspects of how I can go about it, doing it better, you know what I mean, or as far as just protecting myself, you know what I mean, and that's through the spiritual form, you know what I mean, of different form of crystals, you know what I mean, or form of affirmations, you know what I mean, meditation, and with that, I'm actually gonna speak about different reference or different form of meditation that I was during my I'm gonna say the little situation I went through with the gang stalking. You know what I mean? It happened for a couple amount of days in the form of what I was hearing. It was just like during the different phases of what I was hearing. That was kind of like diluting my mind. You know what I mean? And at the time, I wasn't knowing when I first come with that video. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still studying up on it, but it was just more the way that I come about going about finding out what it was that was happening more on the preference. You know what I mean? I mean, for me to stumble upon it like that, it was like spirit, more along with synchronicity. You know what I mean? Taking me into a form to be able to understand different categories of how it is, and it's deeper than what I'm just saying, man. You know what I mean? Because it's a high ideal or form of like if invasion or violation, if you will, like, and it's because it's more in the form of entities and deities also. You know what I mean? This is like modern warfare, bro. Like this is like even the fashion of like angels and demons, that form of angels and demons is like it speaks about in the Bible, you know what I mean? But I'm really gonna go and come into I'm really gonna be speaking about a ideal of meditation that I was practicing, even I say like a couple of months now, you know what I mean? And even from this preference of meditation is deeper because I'm gonna be speaking on the topic of more Merkaba, you know what I mean, or Merkaba, you know what I mean. And with this is more a vehicle, if you will, through a stance of meditation. This is more like a vehicle that basically transmute you or transition you into different forms of different dimensions, during the through the stages of, do meditation, during meditation, during phases of you sleep, you know what I mean, or when you're sleeping, or you know what I mean, lucid dreaming, yeah, if you will, you know what I mean, but more, I'm gonna get more in detail about it, because I'm still, you know what I'm saying, going in on it, man, and still study as much as I can, and on this is more a fashion of different a force field, if you will, like through the transmutations of meditation, being able to build up certain currents of energy, you know what I mean, around ourselves or around that person, you know what I mean, and it's the breathing techniques, in different coordinates as far as do meditation, like for those that know certain things about meditation, you know what I mean, and it's like it's different forms of, like, you see people holding their hands, you know what I mean, and in Merkaba it explains the fashion of it, you know what I mean, uh, through the stages of meditation, what you're doing with your breathing, you know what I mean, and I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on Merkaba for those who don't know. You know what I'm saying? I never heard of it. You know what I mean? This is more of an ancient force field, if you will. You know what I'm saying? The Egyptians would speak on this caliber of more a field. You know what I mean? Because to elaborate on it more, you know what I mean, the Hebrews, the Hebrew word for Merkaba is chariot. You know what I mean? And more, this being a stance of the chariot, or a chariot, if you will, you know what I mean? It's more explaining it in the fashions of Merkaba, Mer being light, uh, Ka being spirit, and Ba being body. You know what I mean? That's just breaking it down. You know what I'm saying, in different categories. You know what I mean? And this is like different forms of light to the fashion of if you see, okay, if you seen like they call it the Star of David. You know what I mean? The Star of David, the six pointed point of the star. You know what I mean? It's more a gesture of explaining different polarities. You know what I mean? The apex fashion of the head being the sun, the up under the feet being the earth. You know what I mean? And you in the middle. So that's like, you are basically the whole transmuted form of the movement, or however in the situation it being, because in this category it's explaining to be that it's categorized through like different forms or different shapes. Okay, um, in the fashion of Merkaba, it goes into like different triangular forms, and like the Hebrew, like the okay, you see the star, the Hebrew star. If you see it's two triangles in the faces of what's standing up, one down. You know what I mean? The one standing up is more the masculine fashion of the triangle in Merkaba during the during the stages of meditation, and the one going down is the feminine aspect of the the explaining of the Hebrew star. You know what I mean? It's masculine and feminine working together, two polarities pulling at a form, like, and it's like rotating around the body. You know what I mean? It's triangles, quadrilateral triangles. You know what I mean? Quadrilateral triangles going in these spaces, and all this, during like a different vortex of, it's really measured off. You know what I mean? It's measured off in different stages, and do this transmutation of you meditating and getting into this force field. If you will, it's more uh like a guiding form of protection. You know what I'm saying? In what I mean, from here in the spiritual realm, and you know what I'm saying, to the stages of being on the planet. And this is even broke down into, in the Bible it's explained that they speak on it as Ezekiel's wheel. You know what I mean? And like I got this little form in Ezekiel 10:14 in the Bible. You know what I mean? It explains the faces of the cherubim. You know what I mean? It's the four living creatures. Four faces represents the four domains of God's rule. The man represents the humanity, lion, ox, eagle, and lion, ox, eagle, and man. Yeah, and to break this down more, it's categorized even to the fashion of, if for those who understand like the astrology, the basis of the astrology, the 12 zodiac signs, uh, with the four heads being Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. All right, and these are the different uh energy forms that is more bringing into a whole category of explaining how the life force works. You know what I mean? It's a high equated form, and it's more just getting into a whole dimensional ideal of the shift that's coming on nowadays. You know what I mean? It's a big shift going into the modern formality of the times. You know what I mean? Because we're basically uh, going into to modern times, and as of dated, I think it was December. I don't want to be wrong. December 1st, 2012. We actually entered into another eon. You know what I mean? And that eon was the eon of the Aquarius. You know what I mean? For those who know about the different stages and the different eons, you know what I mean? Knowing that we are going into we're in a whole other stages of 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 another eon coming out of the eon of Pisces. Us being in the eon of Aquarius, this is more a general form of knowledge, and the symbol of Aquarius, for those who study astrology, you know what I'm saying, and understand different things about the horoscope, or I mean about their horoscope, understanding the different methods of how astrology works. And if you know the symbol for Aquarius, it's the man carrying a pitcher. You know what I mean? Pouring out the water. You know what I mean? And that's more saying for the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Being coming out in any fashion it is. You know what I mean? Because this is like basically uh the beginning times, if you want to say, bro. Like this is like a whole nother eon, bro. So it's more like the beginning, bro. It's like the ADs, you know what I mean? Like BC times, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, from the category of how they explained it, uh, from the different categories of what an eon is. And that's like, what was I had it written down like 2,166 years, you know what I mean? So that's breaking down the whole form. And even getting back into Merkaba, this is like, this method of teaching, bro, is more old. You know what I mean? And this is like 16,000, 13,000 years old. It's ancient knowledge. You know what I mean? And it's more. You see different forms. You know what I mean? Of like cults, different categories of people of using this symbolism. This symbolism is old. It's old, ancient symbol. And the reason I brought that up more to it is to say this is like different categories of some of the things that the Dogon tribes would explain in its vertex of how basically through the symbols, and how the different numerical forms explaining how rectangular prisms and rectangular triangles are more squared off in the numeral uh, uh, calculation, you know what I mean, in articulate form of tetrahedrons, you know what I mean, understanding tetrahedrons, because the whole tetrahedrons form is the whole establishment of Merkaba, you know what I mean, because in that vehicle, it's going, understanding the forms of Merkaba meditation, and this is like, you know, like in its own form more, um, like you getting the energy, you know what I'm saying? And through with this vehicle, it's more a help in the facet of synchronicity of you know, if you for those who know about synchronicity and how that works and how energy works and you know what I mean and the correspondence of nature, you know what I mean, due to you know the different calibers of you know of our energy and hertz and if you know for people who know things about different scientific methods when it comes to how the universe is working, you know what I mean, and you know explaining the Merkaba, man, it's more to it. It's like this is even like branched off into you know, excuse me, more branches off even to like the tree of life. You know what I mean? This is branched off even into the tree of life because you know, if anyone's seen the tree of life, the whole ladder of the tree of life and it's explained. You know what I mean? From the top of the head. Okay, say the head, the guitar, more being the being in the light, you know what I'm saying, the preferable form of light, being able to get into the preference of the mind or however you want to use it. You want to use it in a literal form. It's more how light the light gets to us or knowledge comes to us. You know, God helping us, if any fashion. You know what I mean? The higher power or higher structure basically using us in a form that basically help us do different things or understand different preferences that we learn, you know what I mean, as we mature, as we grow, you know. This is even like the whole form of it, the vortex of different categories inside of the Merkaba. It's even broke down kind of similar to the tree of life, you know what I mean? And, you know, the Kabbalah just more explains different aspects, and this is going into the whole spectrum from the first four uh the first four sephirots, if you will, in the tree of life is more like explaining the higher being, like the higher upper body, and the rest going down to like Tefirah and the rest, you know what I mean? Tefirah being that of beauty, or you know what I'm saying, the sun, you know what I mean? You know, Qatar being body, symbolized by Pluto, Chokmah being wisdom, symbolized by Neptune, and Banah being the understanding, in the facets of, and that's represented by Saturn, and you know, and how that works. And Darth, which is this is the knowledge form from different categories in like the different preferences of them of how the system of the third eye works. If people know about that, you know what I mean. I mean, you know, I can get into it a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna stay on subject because explaining the Merkaba, man, is more understanding in the what Merkaba meditation. It's through the breath, through this whole formula, you know, even because I'm gonna be specific about it too. But even in the meditation, it's certain forms. Okay, check this out. When in the form of Merkaba meditation, the fingers, okay, if you know, for those who know about palmistry and different things in that nature, man, this kind of helps with that too, like because this is also broke down into that. You know what I mean? You know, I know a little, you know, little old bit about palmistry, and it breaks down into forms of like this hand being your Jupiter finger, this being your Saturn finger, the Sun or Apollo, yeah, Apollo finger, Mercury. You know what I mean? And this is will and logic, will and thought. You know what I mean? And through the forms of Merkaba meditation, you are basically channeling or getting those strings from these different planet or placements that's already located in the body. Basically, you know what I mean? You are using different forms of different channels of these different power sources in these different categories of planets. You know what I mean? Through the first, you know what I'm saying, through the first, what's the name, symbolism of being Jupiter, you know what I mean? That's like paint of, you know, of luck and, you know what I'm saying, good things coming, or, you know what I mean? On this flip side, Saturn being discipline, Sun, Apollo being, you know, how you shine or how you know what I mean, your glow, and Mercury being intellectual communication, you know what I mean? And this is all the fashions of this being controlled through the breathing. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a certain amount of breaths that you gotta basically uh, inhale and release at the same preference, because this is building up a whole category of energy. You know what I'm saying? Connecting it through your different limbs. You know what I'm saying? From and it's even like it's even can be explained in a fashion like, I mean, you know, I'm gonna get a little better on how I operate the camera, man, because I do want to be able to elaborate on it more and be able to show different forms of pictures, so I'll be able to get into it more, man, and be able to help people be able to see different uh 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 forms, different shapes, different classified ideology of what I'm speaking on. Excuse me, and you know what I mean. This is like it's a deeper it's deeper. You know what I mean. I can get deeper on it. Also, you know what I mean. And you know, certain it's a book that I read on this, man. You know what I mean. I hate I couldn't get it, but it's the ancient it's the ancient secret of the flower of life by it's by Jonal Malchazedek. You know what I mean. And he wrote this book in Merkaba meditation. You know, Jonal Malchazedek, and I've been able to check them out. You know what I mean. I couldn't get the secret of the flower of life. You know what I mean. That was a good one. You know what I mean. I was able to check it out at Barnes and Noble or whatever. And but I got enough notes on it to be able to understand my contribution of what I was trying to explain. You know what I mean. And it goes. You know what I mean, because it spirals into a whole fashion of understanding dimensional cortexes that's already embedded into the body. You know what I mean. I want to speak up, but just want to speak on it. You know, because you know with this meditation, you know what I mean. It's a good form of, you know what I mean, for those who meditate and those who are in different fashions of being able to understand meditation and you know, and understanding different categories of controlling your breath and controlling your breathing. You know what I mean, and why that's so important. From even like the category we're talking about when I was talking about the tree of life, that's like uh, you know, the top body, you know what I mean? It's being like this is like a category of your body, you know what I mean? So, and it's like what you put into your body also, you know what I mean? And even from knowledge, from words, and you know what I'm saying? Different categories of what people saying to you, you know what I'm saying? In this category. And, you know, I brought that up to elaborate on this a little bit more because, and I'm gonna say because even at the time when I was going through my situation, or when I was speaking of the gangs, like, see, I'm gonna put them together now. You know what I mean? Because it's more when I was going through that situation. You know what I mean? Because I've been doing this meditation. This is kind of like the newest form of meditation that I've come across within like 3.5 months, probably now, 3.5, 2.5, I'm gonna say, and you know, it's more it helped me through the situation, you know what I'm saying? Helped me understanding it, bro, and helped me get into the whole fashions of how forms of meditation, being able to just control my breathing, you know what I mean? And even with certain things that I was hearing, certain things I was going through, you know what I mean? This kind of helped me and helped me guide me back to my former intuition, you know what I mean? So I can be able to understand, you know what I mean? I say that because uh category of what I was going through and what I was hearing, man, I mean, that was, you know what I'm saying, from their different fashions of even from how it was explained to me, and for me to hear it, okay, for me to hear it and somebody explaining it, saying what I'm going through, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so you know what I mean. So in a different form, you know what I mean. You know, and I just want to elaborate and talk about that, you know what I mean, because this is more of the fashion where I want to go on, and more than me speaking about something in a fashion and the way I came about it, you know what I mean, because you know, as a man, I don't like to, you know what I'm saying, show myself in that fashion, but I'm just listening, you know what I mean, because Spirit told me, bro, just anyways, you know what I mean, and I mean, I just post it anyways, you know what I mean, just to be able to get a platform to be able to, for me to be able to communicate and speak about different spectrums of even in the forms of Merkaba meditation. You know what I'm saying? And the whole form of this lead me catching on to this late, but no understanding different preferences of knowledge by through the preference of Merkaba. You know what I mean? It's like a vehicle. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Is in a fashion of this, speaking in a realistic category, it's more saying like through lucid dreams, through meditation, and you know what I'm saying, the purpose for those who meditate, and when you get to that certain fashion of you know, when you breathe certain breaths, you know, so you get to this certain breathing preference, bro. It's for those that know what meditation and getting into that, they know the categories of the visions or the forms of what you see. You know what I mean? And it's helping you understand. You know what I mean? Because it's like aligning with spirit. You know what I mean? And it's more. I'll be able to elaborate on it at a later time. But I just want to open up with that, man, and I just come off of different category of what I was speaking on from the last video, but I put it together still in the same form because I look at it like, for those, people got their own purpose of what they believe in, you know what I'm saying? The universal God, you know what I mean? How it be, people in different religions, it is how it is. But this is a category of something that helped me through that, you know what I mean? It helped me in the fashion of being able to understand in these certain categories. And, I'm just shedding light on certain things that I've learned, you know what I'm saying, through firsthand experience and through categories of what I've read and what I getting to understand, you know what I mean? Because even in the category of this, it kind of like helped me understand the whole preference of some of like I've been hearing this fashion, bro, and we've been telling about my shadow, like your shadow side. You know what I mean? This is like in the form of Merkaba, it shows you certain things, certain areas. It helps you. You know what I'm saying? Through your form of when you meditate. When you just in your own trance of however form you meditate, or just free your mind, if you will. You know what I mean? It's more just getting you to understand and what to know. You know what I'm saying, from yourself, from your good to your bad, for polarities, because the Merkaba works in polarities, male, female. You know what I'm saying? Male being the triangle on going up, and the female being the triangle going down. You know what I'm saying? The feminine, masculine, feminine. And this just help you understand polarities. And this is even so in the form of shadow self. You know what I mean? Your good, your bad. Your good self, your bad self. When you're happy, when you're mad. You know what I mean? This is all the categories of a whole form of Merkaba. Light, spirit, and body. You know what I'm saying? The spirit being the individual spirit, Ba being the spirit interpretation of in reality. You know what I'm saying? Which is being like basically yourself, being you. You know what I'm saying? With you. Body, your body. But I mean, I just want to elaborate on it. You know what I mean? And come back after the video that I made, just explain a little bit more. You know what I mean? I don't like to leave nothing half done. And I'm gonna leave it right there though. All right, peace out.